Hello for that one person. Oh, there's three people waiting now. Ooh, I'm getting a weird audience. Well, I wouldn't say you're weird. I apologize. But I am getting a ton, four people. What's going on here? What are you doing? What are you doing watching this? There's podcasts. There you go. Three. There's podcasts to listen to. There's other things to do besides watch me. So this is, I believe, number 8 in the series of videos I'm producing for the Global Virtual Design Sprint. Now they're all falling off. They're like, no, I'm not going to deal with this. Good. There, you're all gone. Fantastic. So this is going to be all about networking, ironically enough, and how you can do a lot of networking within the Global Virtual Design Sprint and what you can do about it. So I'll give you some few options that you can choose from. What I'll do is I'll share my screen first and give you an idea of where to start first if you're getting into the GVDS and want to basically start from a good starting point. I am doing this very late at night, by the way, so I'm kind of like, so I figured it'd be more entertaining that way anyway. Rather than going to bed, I'll stay up and make interesting educational videos of some type. Hopefully they're interesting. So the first thing you do in terms of networking, and I'm showing the master board here. This is what I'm using to assemble teams this time around, since we don't have like over 150, 200 people coming to this. It's probably around the range of like 40 to 60. On this page, on this mural that I've been posting frequently or infrequently, all of these pictures that you see here, all these people that are part of the event, you can basically, first off, connect with them on LinkedIn by just double clicking on a profile. Let's say this is Iva. I'll double click on her and I'll get her profile, what she's all about. And it's as simple as just basically making a connection with someone. So let's just go through the motions with someone else. I'm going to look up Obama. How about that? There we go. So I'm going to try to make a connection with Obama and say connect. And say, please enter your email address. I'll say rscrobe@gmail.com. Yes, I'm actually trying to add Obama during this. Add a note. Hi, Mr. Obama. I'd like to connect with you here on LinkedIn. But in this case, you would probably do, but instead of this, you would probably go, since we are talking the example of the Global Virtual Design Sprint, you go, so if Mr. Obama was part of the GVDS, which would be mind-boggling, you go, we're both participants in the Global Virtual Design Sprint, and I'd like to connect with you here on LinkedIn. Talk with you later. That's as simple as it gets, but that's something where if you see someone on this particular master board here that you are interested in, maybe it's a fellow, somebody who facilitates as a designer, maybe they're a researcher, they can be a program director, but you have a lot of people to choose from here. I would recommend taking about 10 to 20 minutes with your favorite beverage and just going through and viewing the profiles of some of these folks, because they come from all walks of life. I've worked with many of them in previous events, and they're really good people. They would be interesting to know. And there's also some new faces that we haven't seen lately or haven't seen at all in previous events. So it's always good to connect with anybody you see here and take the time to do it. Let's go back to Barack here. Let's go, instead of this, and say, hi, Mr. Obama. I'd like to connect with you here on LinkedIn. I don't have a really good reason why, other than you're the last legitimate president that we've had in the past decade. Talk to you later. And so that's my message. That would be the same thing. You can customize it for the people in the GVDS for this. I'll go like, I'll just send it to them. So there you go. I sent a request to Barack Obama. Okay, so that's the first way is basically using the master board, double clicking anybody you see here that's interesting, giving them a shout out through a connection request, and that'll start the conversation. Now, as part of the GVDS, what we started with 5 is doing some Friday networking events. And those are, I believe this is the tab I have them hidden on, so they're here. So everyone in the event is invited to one at 8 o'clock Central Time, and there's another one at 11. So I'll close this one. And there's one more right here at 11 o'clock. And usually on Thursday, I'll send in a link out to anyone who's said that they want to join up. And usually the 11 o'clock is a bit more tends to be a bit more attended just because of the time for whatever reason. I think it's the evening in Europe, so people can spare the time. And we do a lot of Q&A. We do some introductions. We get to know everyone at a cursory level, but we also ask immediate questions about the event that people have been asking or referencing. So when we do that, I mean, in the past ones, we start out with like 2 or 3 people. I think the first one was about 6, and I knew pretty much everyone there. These were all regulars from previous GVDS events. There's Lisa here, there's Americo, there's Gia, there's Iva, and there's this guy named Alex who seems to pop up every so often with snap camera. Then in the second one, we had, I think it's the second one here. We had, again, people that have come through the event before. There's Ken, Florian, Yasir. Then there's Sachin and Abhinav, Mr. India, all basically appearing there. In the third event, we had a smaller one, but we had the incomparable Andy Davis. We've got, I think it was Bree, who's new. And dude, I'm going to forget your name because I'm so tired. You'll have to forgive me. You're important. I just don't remember what your name is. I just can't remember it right now. But then if you think that's bad, then there's this, because there's so many people here that I recognize and some people I don't. I have Fides is here. Eugene's there. I think that's Mohammed's there. There's Gene. This is just a rabbit hole I'm going to go down. And I know this is someone else that's new. But yeah, this is a way of, in that for hour, meeting a lot of different and interesting people. There's Caesar up there, who's very much into tacos, and Susanna, who's right there, who's basically got her own stuff. So, okay. So that's an example, a second example of how you can do networking. The first is looking up LinkedIn profiles, then taking advantage of these events that we're doing every Friday from like 8 a.m. Central Time and 11 a.m. Central Time, going up until October. Now, as a side, I've inquired with the GVDS alumni. So people have done this event before and asked if they wanted to put on their own networking events. So starting next week, who I selected really briefly is going to do one there where she is in Hong Kong, basically to explore what a design sprint is good for. We don't have the details. This is just kind of a placeholder, but that is going to be I would probably promote that or put it and give a little bit more detailed, like a Friday of this week or Monday of next week. But other GVDS alumni are welcome to do these exact same things, and I would give it a signal boost in social media. So if you're watching this and you were one of those folks that did do a GVDS before, whether it was 3, 4, or otherwise, take advantage of the opportunity to kind of construct your own networking event and having the GVDS brand behind it, and should be pretty good. Okay, and let's go to Slack for a second. So Slack is like kind of our landing point for everyone on the event. We're using it as just kind of a starting point for everyone to go to. And we have just a smattering of channels at this point. But there's one I added today for virtual meetups, and it's an app called Donut. And I've used this over at Control the Room a little bit with some success. But the Donut is basically an app that basically does matching. So every week it'll ask you if you want to meet someone new, and it'll pair you up with someone that's existing on the channel. And they'll ask for a little bit of background from you. Well, they'll try to find a match. If you guys want to meet up, then great. It's like a one-on-one kind of conversation. But if not, no, not a big deal. But this is a way of leveraging Slack to basically pair people up that may have similar interests. And y'all have to tell me if this is a valuable tool or if it sucks. And if it sucks, it's going away pretty fast. But so far, it seems to work halfway decent, and we just got to see what happens. So there's that. There's the third option. Then finally, I think... can't remember my own writing. So the last thing that I can say is that for your teams, the teams that were kind of featured here, we're going to be doing some. By the way, there's a local there's a networking helper that I created in Mural for those that want to do their own networking. This is a default. You can choose to use your own tools if you'd like, but this is a fallback in case you want to do your own networking events. And then this is something where you first kick off your team, and you're going to be seeing this in probably in the next couple of weeks, where those teams that are formed, if they stay solid or if there's not many changes with them, we'll have these kickoffs where you get to kind of figure out what your team role could be. We go through the recommended tools and apps. We do a couple of icebreakers, and we get into like a conversation about what kind of things that we want to do with the themes and the challenges. There's also a thing down here, if you notice, it says design your own virtual design sprint. We are actually going to be offering a modular arrangement of both the design sprint and the dash this time around. We experimented with it in the early spring of this year, and I'm bringing it into this event in a very structured fashion. So there's going to be a default set of activities and events that are recommended, and then you can pick and choose as a team based on your available time, which you would like to kind of put into the mix. So that's coming. It just hasn't been constructed yet, but it'll probably hit your shelves, as they say, probably late next week when we start working on the templates. And that's pretty much it for networking. So to review, you've got the master board here that has everyone's LinkedIn profiles. If you happen to stumble upon Barack Obama, you might as well try adding him as well. So there's kind of connecting with people individually this way. We are doing networking events every Friday at 8 a.m. Central and 11 a.m. Central all the way until October. You can also do your own local online networking if you're a GVDS alumni, and we'll kind of signal boost that through some sort of networking event calendar item, as well as put it on social. We just added in Slack an application called Donut, which is here. And then basically that's automated. So if you're part in this channel and you want to participate, it will automatically query you. And then finally, during the kickoff sessions, that'll happen when your teams are solidified and you kind of know what you're going to be doing as a challenge. We'll be using this sort of template to kind of establish team roles, and then you'll be able to really get in depth with what people want to do for their particular event. So that, I think, is it for networking within the Global Virtual Design Sprint. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments in the YouTube video, or you can message me direct or post it right below on LinkedIn if you're watching it there. But thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this was enlightening, and I'll kind of leave up all of the networking photos we had before as kind of like a image backdrop for what's been discussed. So again, thank you very much for watching. Hope you're doing well. Remember, stay safe, keep your distance, wear a mask, no coughing on people, and talk to you later on for the next video. What is the next video? I'll have to figure it out. Anyway, take care wherever you want.